have to say that I have great faith in this country, in its workers, in its ingenuity, and in its ability to recover, and I believe that it will. But while we're in this slump in the economy, we need to be very careful about budgeting. In Harrisburg, we don't print money and we don't deficit spend. We actually have a balanced budget requirement in our Constitution that we must meet every year. I voted no on the last two budgets because they did not balance without significant financial aid from the federal government, and we didn't get the financial aid that we were banking on. Some of you may have received a little thing in the mail from my opponent saying I voted against environment, old people, young people, poor people, and you thought to yourself, why would Kate do that? Well, if you look up those votes, you're going to see, yes, I voted against two budgets that didn't balance. I think it's really critical that we have a balanced budget and that we make smart decisions about it. I have to tell you, just a few years ago, people used to say, we don't need to work harder, we just need to work smarter. But you know, in this economy, we have to work harder and smarter. And I think I'm doing that for you in Harrisburg. I'm also doing that for you at home. One of the things I'm most proud of was persuading the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission to redesign the expansion of the Northeast Extension. And that's because when they rolled out the plans at a public meeting, they were taking 105 backyards of people who lived near the turnpike. And there were no sound barriers. Naturally, the people were upset. Their homes would be that much closer to a widened road, and they were already bothered by the noise from the road. I brought them together with the local government officials and DEP because the turnpike claimed that they had to have that plan in order to take care of its stormwater, and we persuaded them to go back and redesign the road. They took 5 properties, they all agreed to be taken, and we got sound barriers virtually from Walton Road all the way up to the Lansdale interchange, where they are greatly needed. So I try to be helpful not only in Harrisburg, but also here at home. Sometimes what we have to do is take care of individual problems. The Pennsylvania Revenue Department has become very, very slow in giving back refunds. We can help you with that. We can help you getting handicap placards. We have helped you with that. I try to be very responsive to the concerns of the people that I represent, both in Harrisburg and here at home. And legislatively, I have been a tireless advocate for the environment. In Harrisburg, I am well known for my advocacy on behalf of growing greener, coming up with the idea to tax out-of-state trash to pay for open space, farmland preservation, and creek restoration. This is so great that we actually have New York and New Jersey paying us about $40 million a year that we can use on the environment here in Pennsylvania. I've been tireless on that, and all of my colleagues in Harrisburg know it. That's because I think that we have a duty to steward Pennsylvania's enviable environment for future generations so that we don't use it up in the one that we're in right now. And I'm well known for that. Just yesterday, Governor Rendell signed a bill that Representative Rick Taylor and I worked on. Rick is a Democrat from the next district over in Montgomery County. I'm able to reach across the aisle, work both sides of the fence if I have to get things done. Rick and I had a bill that helped people living in manufactured home communities. In Pennsylvania, we have a lot of people age 55 and above who live in manufactured home communities that were designed for age 55 and above. They came to me and told me that they were worried that their ground rents kept going up and their Social Security or their pensions did not. We were able to work out a law in effect already in Florida, where they also have a lot of seniors like we do in Pennsylvania and manufactured housing parks, that requires park owners to give at least 60 days notice and also to disclose a 3-year history of all rent increases. We think that the market will then take care of the issue when they realize that they can't do it like a thief in the night, but they have to come out with it and let people know. That's just one example of working across the aisle, which I think is important. Once you get to Harrisburg, it's important to do that, just so that you can represent your constituents better and do what's right for Pennsylvania. I do know that we need jobs in Pennsylvania. The remark that my opponent alluded to was not at all what she said. I was talking about traffic congestion. Anybody experience traffic congestion? Yeah, it's actually the most frequent complaint in my district office. What I was saying was, a generation ago, people could take mass transit to go to work in the city and come home again. These were bedroom communities right here. They are no longer. They are actually employment centers. One of the reasons we have to keep improving our roads is because we have jobs here in Montgomery County that people commute to get to. They're good jobs. Merck, for example, largest employer in Montgomery County, just up the road from us, 11,000 cars a day. That's what I was talking about. I do realize that we need to create jobs, but I don't think government is how you create jobs. I think government needs to get out of the way and reassure small business and large business that they can operate profitably in this environment. I did not vote for the welfare bill. You will see a mailer that says that I voted against veterans. Were veterans in that bill? Yes, they were. I didn't vote for it because it imposed a Medicaid assessment on all of the hospitals in the Commonwealth. And one hospital was going to be paying $3 million more than it was getting back in any kind of reimbursement. That hospital was Abington. An awful lot of people in Montgomery County and in my district use Abington Hospital. I don't think it's a coincidence that Abington laid off 100 nurses the same time that bill passed in Harrisburg. You're right, I didn't vote for it. I didn't think it would help veterans. My father was a World War II veteran, came home from France with a Bronze Star. My father-in-law went to Korea with the Air Force. My son is a Marine. I don't vote against veterans. But that bill contained a provision that welfare workers would have to ask veterans if they had applied for veteran services. It didn't give them anything extra. What it did was shift the payment of benefits for which a veteran was duly qualified under state law and under federal law for veterans to the Veterans Administration. Didn't think it was a significant enough benefit to veterans to vote for the rest of the package, which would cause 100 nurses to lose their jobs at Abington Hospital. I'm willing to talk about anything you want to talk about. I never have a problem explaining a vote. And I always study the issues before I get there, and I try to make smart choices that you would make if you were there instead of me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Harper. Ms. Redinger will now respond.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay. There's just so much to respond to. That, you know, Ms. Harper has said she's done. But I truly feel she hasn't done enough. When you're elected to the state rep position, don't you think that should be your sole job? Don't you think that should be your sole responsibility? You've come out and you voted for somebody to go to Harrisburg and deal with your concerns and your problems. She holds 3 other tax-funded jobs, solicitor jobs. The local level, we have a solicitor, and I know how much work they have to do and how much time and effort they have to do at the township level. I don't understand why this state rep has other jobs. You went to the polls, you elected her for one position, and she's doing 4. I don't understand. So listen, please listen. I was taking care of a patient the other day, and we talked for a good half an hour. And, you know, I got his medication straight, and he was just so thankful. I changed his wound. He said, so thankful. And he said, Mary Lou, you really do care about people. You really do care about people. And I want you to know that I am not a typical politician. I am not an insider. I'm not a person that's in an office that gets a phone call about a problem. I've been behind the closed doors, and I've touched people, and I've touched people like you. So, you know, the environment, just look at Jersey. They're so way ahead of us. We're not doing enough. It's the bottom line. We are not doing enough. I practice what I preach. I have solar panels on my roof. I have a rain barrel on the side of my house. I have a composter. You know, I'm liaison to the environmental board. I'm on the Park and Heritage board. We're not doing enough. And if you think that voting for